Penn State On Demand is a service of Penn State Public Broadcasting. Now you can support WPSU when you shop online. Visit WPSU.org/shop to make purchases from national online retailers, and WPSU will receive a portion of the sale with no extra cost to you. So start your online shopping at WPSU.org/shop.
If Facebook were a country, it would be the third largest in the world. There's little question that the advent of social media has irrevocably impacted human interaction. But what exactly is social media doing to us, and how is it changing our identities? Sean Sundar is the founder of the Penn State Media Effects Research Laboratory, a leading facility of its kind in the country. His research investigates the social and psychological effects of social media. We'll talk with him about shifting norms.
Is your fur baby starting to get a little shaggy? Let Dirty Paws be your one-stop shop for all of your pet care needs. Stop in and see us at 202 18th Street or give us a call at 304-639-7754 to schedule your appointments for dog grooming, doggy daycare, and dog boarding today.
Hello, I'm Chuck Reddick, Commissioner of the Internal Revenue Service. We're working hard to get ready for tax filing season. You know who else is working hard? Identity thieves. Keep your computers and your mobile phones secure. Use antivirus software and strong passwords. Look out for email scams. Secure your home Wi-Fi with a password. Stay safe when you shop online. Look for HTTPS in the web address. See irs.gov for details.
Hello, everyone, from the Watchdog. I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your Tuesday under mostly cloudy skies with a slight chance for a scattered shower, a daytime high near 72. Overnight low of 66 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Showers likely. Those showers continue on and off as we go through your Wednesday. It could be heavy at times with temperatures in the lower 70s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
What day is it?
What day it is?
Today is Tuesday.
Tuesday. I hit Tuesday.
Yeah.
Been a crazy week.
I've had a really stressful morning.
Sorry, dude. Today's been way stressful. I need some levity.
Make me laugh.
Well, pull my finger. I tell you, I need this.
Thanks, guys. This really cheered me up.
Wow.
Doesn't take much. Can we get on with this, please? I'm ready when you are.
All right, it's show time.
Live and local in the Ohio Valley, this is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
67 at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. Clear skies there. 65 degrees still here at the home studios in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling. And still a little, I don't know what to call it, not quite overcast, maybe more foggy outside, I guess. It was clearer earlier this morning. 65 and clear skies, partly clear skies at the Watchdog Studios in downtown Wheeling. In the heart of the Ohio Valley, we are going to look for some rain during the day today, so be aware of that. But tomorrow is the rain day, in particular going to be a good heavy soaking rain during the day tomorrow. That according to Zach over at the Big 7. We're looking for a daytime high of 76 today, drop down to 71 tomorrow, drop into the low 60s Thursday, and in the 60s on Friday as well. But the weekend's going to be not too bad. Going to see some sunshine out there. Got a couple of COVID stories I want to get to here this morning on the Watchdog Morning Show. Biffy, you want to do a COVID update?
Yeah, let me do that.
Threw you a curve there. Sorry about that.
We're good. We're good.
COVID-19 update.
You know, it's always amazing to me how divisive, how bizarre this vaccine hesitancy has gone. In Newberg, Oregon, the school system is requiring. They have a vaccine mandate at their school system in Newberg, Oregon, for employees. And a school employee suspended this week after she showed up to campus in blackface. She was protesting the vaccine mandate, and she said that she was like Rosa Parks when Rosa Parks was sitting in the front of the bus, and now she's standing up for her rights for the vaccine mandate, and so she came in blackface. Now, I don't know a whole lot about Newberg, Oregon, but I don't think Newberg, Oregon, or any place else is going to suggest that blackface is the right approach to protesting, even if you're vaccine hesitant or vaccine averse. I mean, I just don't think that's going to be the right thing to do. The Newberg Graphic newspaper says the employee at Mabel Rush Elementary School said she wanted to evoke the memory of civil rights icon Rosa Parks. The Newberg School District says the employee was removed, put on administrative leave. Quote, the administration of Newberg Public Schools condemns all expressions of racism. It's important to remember how blackface has been used to misrepresent black communities and do harm. We acknowledge the violence this represents, the trauma it evokes, regardless of intention. I mean, yes, there are some who could say maybe it's too sensitive there, but what I just keep thinking is, how bizarre is it that people go this far in trying to make their point about vaccines? It's just, I don't know.
I'm surprised it's took this long to really go that far. I thought we'd see I thought we'd see it earlier. The fact that it lasted this long, I think, is something.
And I guess there's part of me that says that's better than the pounding and screaming and yelling and stomping of feet that we see at school board meetings and so on. So I don't know. But an inappropriate protest probably nonetheless. So it's just out there. Everybody is protesting these vaccines. And then we try and figure out, how do we get people to take the vaccine? Here in West Virginia, Governor Justice, over and over and over again, 3 times a week, he holds his COVID press conferences. And every single time, it's the same thing, Biffy. It's, well, now y'all got to get vaccinated, or you're going to die. People are dying. You're going to die. Your kids might die. Body bags are stacking up. You gotta get vaccinated, or death is coming. I mean, and I don't disagree with the statements, but it's it doesn't seem to be working. The governor has tried that approach literally every single day that he holds his press conference. He says the same thing. He shakes his head and says, I don't know, but I do know this, you're going to die. You got to get the vaccine. And I've noticed a lot of TV ads from some are public service announcements, some are sponsored by businesses that are encouraging you to get your vaccine and so on. And they tend to take almost I don't know if threatening is the right word, but that threatening approach as well. And it isn't working. It doesn't seem to be working. And I read a piece this week in online magazine I often read called The Conversation about vaccine messages and are they working with the people who are not getting the vaccine. Shyam Sundar, who is director and founder of the Media Effects Research Lab at Penn State University, has written that piece and has looked into this. And by the way, has looked into a lot of other stuff too. I think I'm putting him on my list to get in to talk about social media one of these days. But right now, I want to talk about vaccine messaging. Dr. Sundar, thank you for joining us this morning. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
So let's talk about this. You've looked at this. You've done some study on this. You've actually done some experiments to kind of test some of this stuff. The current trend in vaccine encouragement seems to be, I'm calling it, maybe it's a bad phrase to use, but it seems to be almost a threatening thing. As I mentioned, our governor here says every single day, you got to get the vaccine or you're going to die. It doesn't seem to be working.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So in general, we call this, in communication science, we call these kinds of messages high threat. When we say high threat, it's not so much threatening people directly, but threatening their freedom of action. In other words, you're limiting how much they can do. So by telling people what to do or what not to do, you're basically limiting their freedom of action. And so that's why these are called high threat messages, by saying, mask up or pack up or, stay 6 feet apart or go 6 feet under. And these are all messages that are very forceful and makes people, puts people in a corner and makes people have no choice. And that's basically the ultimate threat to their freedom of action. And as you can see from the protests, all the protests are about freedom, how people need to have the freedom to make their own choices, whether to get vaccinated or not, and whether to mask or not, and so forth.
I guess it's a typical communications problem, which is trying to understand how your message is being received, not what you mean when you say it. I mean, I think all of those messages are legitimate and right, 6 feet apart or 6 feet under. I think they're good messages. I think they're right. I think they're accurate. But they're not perceived by the people they're intended, that we're trying to change, whose actions we're trying to change. They're not perceived the way I mean them or the way folks who post on Facebook and so on mean them, right?
That's right. And, intentionality is not going to guarantee the intended effects. And these messages might be well-intentioned, but they don't necessarily have the desired effect, simply because the way the messages are crafted can, strike the wrong chord, if you will. And so many times, people kind of react to it. That's what we call reactance. So they basically are showing resistance to the messaging itself by either getting angry or by arguing with the message contents. And so in communication science, we found that it's always better to get people to do what you want them to do by kind of recrafting these messages to appear as low-threat messages. So instead of saying, go get vaccinated, it would be, you might want to think about getting vaccinated, or getting a vaccine is easy and done. Why not give it a try? Or consider getting a vaccine. You have a chance to be part of the solution to this COVID problem. So these are ways to kind of get people to do what you want them to do, but not in a way that might seem threatening to their freedom of action.
Those seem to be awfully nuanced message distinctions that you're making there for what to me seems to be a very polarized and non-nuanced feeling by folks who don't want to get vaccinated. Of course, there are different kinds of vaccine. There's vaccine hesitant, and then there are vaccine averse, and so on. But does a nuanced message get through to people who are already very polarized?
Well, that's a great question. We've not had in the history of health communication a situation like this where things are so polarized. But in my article that you read, I also suggested ways in which we could try to get across these very strong messages, even with a polarized, in a polarized climate like ours, by using some of the kind of new media technologies that are available to us. So one of the things that these technologies do is they show how many other people are supporting a message. And so this is what we call a bandwagon effect. So when you go on social media, you might see a lot of people have liked this message. And so we found in our research that when people see that even if it's a forceful message, like, get vaccinated, get masked, it's the only way out of this type messages. But if they see like 1,000 likes associated with that message, they are much more likely to kind of come around. And we also found other solutions, like if you put this message in their personal space, like on their cell phone or in their social media feed, there it's very personal, like their Facebook profile page, then I think they take it, in fact, we found in our research that they take it more seriously and are less likely to kind of react in anger. And if people are angry about being told what to do, we found also that anger can be dissipated by giving them an opportunity to comment. So if online, as you know, a lot of places people can comment, and if they have an opportunity to kind of vent out, that itself goes a long way in kind of reducing their resistance to vaccine.
I liked your comment earlier as you talk about freedom or liberty or whatever, because that's kind of the touchstone for an awful lot of these folks who don't want to get vaccinated. You're taking away my freedom. I have a right to make my own decisions. So we have to find a way to craft the message that doesn't suggest we're taking away their freedom, but maybe actually giving them more freedom, more opportunity.
Exactly. So it's not only the wording of the messages, which kind of have to be, as if they are being given a choice. The messages have to be worded such that, they are just being asked to consider something or, make a choice out of their own volition. And if that's not possible, then you should give other opportunities for them to vent out. I was just talking with a health official in North Carolina who also saw this article and is trying to implement some of these things. And he was remarking that how in North Carolina, there's no statewide mandate for school masking. And so this was kicked out to the local school boards, and they were all forced to consider this issue. And what ensued was like some 100 school boards across the state debating the issue, and multitudes of people from every angle venting their frustration. But the result was, right now, 95% of kids are under a mask mandate in North Carolina, even though the state did not issue a statewide mask mandate. So even though people came to these forums and vented their frustrations, they eventually came around to getting their kids masked before going to school. So likewise, if people are given an opportunity to express their point of view or to kind of vent their frustration and anger, they've had their say, and then they are likely to then listen to what is good for their self as also for social good, because this is a public health issue, not a personal health issue.
So advice for school boards or county commissions or whoever is talking about vaccine mandates or mask mandates, advice would be when people come and they're angry and they want to pound their fists and, stomp their feet, let them do that to give them a chance to vent. Let them, don't try to argue with them while they're standing there, but say, okay, go ahead and let it out.
Right. They have to have their say. And this is even true with doctors' offices. So even doctors and nurses, medical health providers should patiently listen to their point of view before giving them the spiel about how vaccines are good for their self and good for society and so forth. And I think that goes a long way in helping them have their agency. Ultimately, it's all about personal agency. So this whole talk about freedom you're talking about is you're in some way valuing each person for who they are.
You mentioned going to a doctor's office, for example, talking to your doctor. Does it make a difference whether the message you're getting is from someone you know, or just an anonymous person on Facebook or on social media or something? If it's your doctor, if it's your next door neighbor, if it's a family member who makes the suggestions for vaccines, does that have more impact with people, do you think?
Yes, definitely. I mean, we've long found that source credibility makes a huge difference in communication effectiveness. So if a source is credible, who's giving you that information, then of course people are going to take it more seriously. And so a Facebook feed where it's all your friends and your contacts, and if they seem to support the kind of pro-vaccine message, then even if you're personally anti-vax, you tend to kind of question your own beliefs, or at the very least, you tend to follow their behavior. And so, yeah, definitely source credibility makes a big difference.
I don't know if this is research verified or not, but my sense is that we tend to have our guard down a little bit less, our guard down a little bit more. We have our shields up a little bit less when we're talking to somebody that we know and have a relationship with.
That's right. It's basically what we call peripheral processing. So source is basically a peripheral cue, which means it's not central to the argument of the message. So when an attractive source or an expert source or a known source gives you the information, then you go with what that source tells you, regardless of the merit of the argument. And this is something that we found over and over again in communication research for the last 50 years with everything from advertising to public health communication. So it's true for most everything. An attractive source or an expert source or a similar source, somebody who's just like you, another person on the street kind of source, or a person that is familiar to you, always has more weight, simply because you let your guard down, like you said, about the message, and you kind of trust the source more. They are more trustworthy for you.
Lots of television advertising I see, sometimes sponsored by people like Walgreens, sometimes sponsored just by a community-minded business. Again, encouraging to get your vaccine. It's important, it's good for your health, and so on. Can some of these, and they are saturating the airwaves in some cases, can these be counterproductive? Can they force people back into their own corner even more if they're not carefully phrased?
That's absolutely right. That's what we found in some of the research done in our college. Ads from some companies like Uber, which says, no mask, no ride, or Heineken, which says socialize responsibly to keep bars open. People actually ended up having a negative attitude toward those ads, and so it actually hurts their brand to have these kinds of pro-vaccine messages, and they tend to get angry because these messages are very directive, telling them to actually do something like socialize responsibly is kind of infantilizing the audience, treating them like, children who don't know better. So ultimate goal with these advertising messages should be to give people a sense of agency, to value them, so they should not feel like that they're being talked down to, but given a choice.
Yeah, no mask, no ride. I can imagine people that are purposefully not not wearing a mask would say to that, well, bleep you, I'll take a bus.
Exactly, and that's called reactance. That's basically they're reacting with emotion, which is anger, and then they are counter-arguing, which is basically they're disregarding the message and they're going their own way. And all that is triggered by the fact that this is an absolute message where you are cornered. Either you wear a mask or you don't get a ride, and that gives them no choice. And so that feels very constricting or restrictive.
And so pull this together for me, Professor. We have a number of our local health officials who listen on a regular basis to the show. They're battling this same issue as many people across the country are. give us your summary recommendation on how to try to get better vaccination results.
So I'm all about the messaging. I'm a communication scientist. So first of all, the message needs to be toned down and made more low threat instead of high threat. By that I mean you need to give people an opportunity to make their choice, or at least the wording should be such that they have a chance to consider the message and make a decision. They should feel like that they are the ones making a decision. And so messages should have choices. Like, for example, you could say, if you're not vaccinated, you can either wear a mask or maintain social distance when you talk with others, or consider wearing a mask when there are others around. You may want to wear a mask when indoors to protect yourself. Those kinds of messages that are better than saying wear a mask or you'll die. Those kinds of messages seem much more directive. So first of all, you need to tone down that message. Number two, if you're not able to tone down, if you still want to be forceful because you think that they are very entrenched in their position and it's a very partisan climate in your state, then the next best thing you could do is find bandwagon support, which means find ways to tell these people, communicate these messages to these people with a lot of likes or thumbs up or other cues that you see on online media that show that so many other West Virginians are for this. And it doesn't matter if they're not their friends, even other kinds of similarity like belonging to the same state and so forth will help. A third thing that you could do is provide opportunities for people to vent, give them a chance to have their say. And we've seen in research that when they actually get this out, it's almost like cathartic for them. And then they will, kind of listen to your advocated behavior. And number four, you can actually use artificial intelligence to kind of go into people's personalized online space. In other words, in Twitter feed or other social media feed of people who are known to be vaccine hesitant based on their postings and retweets, you could strategically place these kinds of messages about vaccination in their feeds so that it appears in their personal space. So whenever things appear in one's personal space, you take that message more seriously and more willingly, and you have a lesser tendency to resist that message. So these would be my 4 recommendations coming out of a couple of decades of research in health communication.
I really appreciate that, and I made my notes here. I hope that folks who are listening will make appropriate note of what you're saying as well. I appreciate the piece you wrote. I appreciate the time you spent with us today. I was looking over your resume and some of the stuff you work on. I may give you a call again one of these days to talk about Facebook and some of the other social media issues, because we delve into an awful lot of that here on this show, and I might want to get your take on that. But I really appreciate you joining me today.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. Appreciate it.
Thanks, you too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Shyam Sundar is the founder and director of the Media Effects Research Lab at Penn State, and he is he takes a look at messaging. It's not enough just to reach people. This is an argument that I make in radio all the time. It's not enough just to reach people, advertising, just saying, well, I bought some advertising. Well, that's fine, but what are you saying to the people when you advertise? The message becomes just as important as the medium. Marshall McLuhan once said the medium is the message, but the message is as important as the medium. Biffy, I know all this because I actually have a degree in human communications.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. When I went to WVU way back when, I went into journalism and speech. That was what I was getting into. Somewhere along the way, speech went by the wayside. That was passé. And they said, you are now in the human communications department. All right.
Whatever.
Okay.
As long as I still get my degree, whatever.
Do I get a diploma when I'm done? Okay, that's fine. I'll call me human communications. All right, let's communicate about the news. Metro News is here. Billy's got sports. I want to get to our ABC report on America Strong. It is a series we're going to do every week, beginning yesterday, except I forgot to do it, so we'll do it today. And we got some tickets to give away, too. Biffy, tell us, what do we have to give away? This is for tomorrow night, right?
Yes, this is tomorrow night at 7:30 at the Steubenville High School Auditorium. It is the Herald Star Speaker Series, and it'll be Eddie Olczyk beating the odds in hockey and in life. And Eddie had stage 3 colon cancer. And in March of 2018, he announced that he was officially cancer-free. And you may know him from, if you watch hockey on NBC, he's an analyst, and he also played hockey for a variety of teams, the Blackhawks, Maple Leafs, Jets, Rangers, Kings, and of course the Pittsburgh Penguins. So that is the Herald Star Speaker Series tomorrow, 7:30 at the Steubenville High School Auditorium. Eddie Olczyk beating the odds in hockey and in life.
That sounds like it could be really interesting. I would assume he will tell some hockey stories, so if you're a hockey fan, you might get a kick out of that. But it sounds like he is in the same arena that I often talk about in my own life, having had cancer 25 years ago. And, you know, I'm a believer in attitude makes a huge difference. I always tell the story. I was too stupid to know any better, I think, but doctors diagnosed me with lung cancer, and people around me are crying. They're, oh, no. And I just kept saying to the doctor, Doc, I got to get back to work. I'm sorry. I got to get back to work. So let's get this thing done. What are we going to do? You know, and I think attitude makes a big difference. I think if I had, and all those years later, I'm still here and still cancer-free. Hitting my head there, knock wood. I believe in that. I guess it's the power of positive thinking, but I believe attitude makes a difference. So sounds like this could be a really good series for you to attend tomorrow night. Eddie Olczyk will be at Steubenville. Where is it? At the arena?
It is at the Steubenville High School Auditorium at 7:30. Okay. Yep.
All right. So what I'm going to do here is, if you would like to go see Eddie Olczyk tomorrow night, we do have tickets to give away. And just give Biffy a call at 304-232-8255, 304-232-TALK, and we'd love to send you up there, and maybe you can go and listen to the speech and give us a call back on Thursday and tell us how it went if you'd like to do that. But this should be a really interesting speech, really more than entertaining, but meaningful, it sounds like. So hockey and health combined. Tomorrow night, and if you're interested, give Biffy a call right now, 304-232-8255, while I head over to the news desk of Metro News.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Reaching a crisis, you bumblehead.
And 34-year-old Raquel Deshauna Adams of Welch are each wanted for murder. The body was found off Route 103 in Havico. The cause of death and the person's identity is unknown. And Tamarack and Beckley preparing to mark its 25th anniversary this Saturday. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. A fireball over West Virginia Friday morning has hunters combing through parts of the Potomac Highlands in search for meteorites. William Cook is with NASA's Meteoroid Environments Office.
We're able to figure out roughly where the fireball burned up and also get an energy on it, which was about 1 to 2 tons of EMT, which meant that fireball was about as bright as the full moon.
He says a loud boom was reported across the region. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Carrie Hudasek.
Monday Night Football. In Green Bay, Wisconsin, the Packers defeated the visiting Detroit Lions 35-17. Aaron Rodgers with 4 TD passes. The other Aaron, the running back, Aaron Jones, recorded 4 TDs. Green Bay scored 21 points in the second half. Let's hear from quarterback Aaron Rodgers.
Misty that we got, doesn't really bother us, and got some turnovers tonight, which was important. We got to start a little faster, for sure. We've started slowly in both the first 2 games, so hostile environment next week. We got to start faster.
Meanwhile, the Steelers will try to rebound from Sunday's loss to the Raiders. According to defensive captain of Pittsburgh, Cam Hayward, the team needs to grow following losses.
I'm not going to say, London Bridge is falling down, but we got to grow from this. We got to continue to keep harping on our mistakes and understand how big those plays are.
Meanwhile, quarterback Ben Roethlisberger had these comments on the loss to the Raiders.
Right now, my play's just not good enough. If I play better, we have a chance to win the football game. And so that loss, I'll take that. I apologize to the fans for that home opener. They were awesome, and it's disappointing that we didn't get that.
1-1 Steelers host the 1-1 Cincinnati Bengals Sunday at Heinz Field. In Cincinnati, the baseball Reds defeated the Pittsburgh Pirates by the score of 9-5. The Associated Press college football poll, to no one's surprise, Alabama number 1, Georgia number 2, and number 3, Oregon. At number 4, Oklahoma. Number 5, Iowa. At number 6, after their win over Auburn, the Penn State Nittany Lions. For Buckeye Nation, Ohio State ranked 10th in the nation.
There's variety shows, and then there's, my variety show. I'm Bill DeFabio, and I bring you the best variety talk in the Ohio Valley, quite possibly the world. Join me from noon till 2 to talk sports, nostalgia, and hear from some of the legends of the game. You won't believe who I have on next. The Bill DeFabio Variety Show, noon till 2 on the Watchdog.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
I'm with Dr. Sharon Parsons, the Ohio Dental Association. Soft teeth run in my family, so going to the dentist won't help, right?
Actually, your family history does not necessarily determine whether you'll get cavities or develop gum disease. Your own behavior can prevent dental disease. By regularly seeing a dentist and brushing twice a day, flossing once a day, and avoiding tobacco products and sugary foods and drinks, you can put yourself on the right path to having healthy teeth and gums for a lifetime.
ODA member dentists are located throughout the state, are dedicated to providing the highest quality care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and obtain superior ongoing education and training. On your next visit, ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association and American Dental Association, so you know you're being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
You want sports talk? We got the goods all night long. Tune into Sports Map Radio, evenings and overnights on FM 98.1, AM 1600. We are the Watchdog.
Watch out! He could climb on his soapbox at any time. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
68 at the airport, 67 here at the home studio, 65 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling. In the heart of the Ohio Valley, mostly clear skies, a little bit of clouds floating around and some fog out there. It's going to be rain maybe later in the day today. Not a huge amount, but some rain coming in today. A good bit of rain coming in tomorrow. Daytime high will be up to around 78 today, 71 tomorrow as we cool things off. A couple of quick COVID notes I still wanted to pass along to you. I mentioned to you yesterday, the Ohio County Health Department issued their weekly numbers, and they were up to 200 and just almost 250, 249 COVID cases in the past week. What I found interesting, almost 100 kids are battling COVID-19 in Ohio County. Now the health department is very clear that they're not in the hospital, they're not necessarily deathly sick, but they still have contracted COVID-19. 98 kids specifically, almost 100 kids. And Howard Gamble says they range in age all the way up to 18, but beginning as young as very young kids. I'm looking for the exact age he said here. From months old all the way up to 18 years old. So COVID is hitting hard. I was told by a doctor at Wheeling Hospital last night, it was an unofficial off-the-record comment, but I was told by a doctor at the hospital last night there have been 6 deaths at Wheeling Hospital this past week of COVID. West Virginia had 54 COVID deaths officially recorded on their dashboard as of yesterday. Governor Justice yesterday said that he's going to try and help out hospitals. He's got something called Save Our Care, which will be money available for hospitals to use if they have to shift resources from one place to another, if they're losing some income because of having to cancel elective surgeries and so on. This is money coming from federal government, primarily in the CARES Act, but the governor is trying to fill the void of the situation with hospitals by coming up with this Save Our Care money. And the governor's own home county, Greenbrier County, has gone to a full mask mandate in the county this week. I'll be curious to see how the governor responds to that at the Greenbrier Resort itself. It is 9:45 here on the Watchdog Morning Show. I mentioned several days ago, we're doing a new series from ABC News called America Strong. It's a look at resilient Americans during the pandemic and during these difficult times. It's going to be a weekly series from ABC News. It's supposed to be on Mondays, but I forgot about it yesterday. So we're going to have yesterday's installment today. Just think of us like the newspaper. The Sunday News Register comes on Saturday. The Monday Report today is coming on Tuesday. And today, Jason Nathanson is with us talking about beauty to the streets.
Welcome to Skid Row in downtown Los Angeles. It's about as far away as you can get from the world of dance video.
I can use something, but you're not going to be back before 10:30. Yeah, that's fine. Premium biscuits is less filling. That's probably good.
Hair and all these things are just, it's a humane thing to do. I'm not doing anything extra fabulous. We're not doing anything like outstanding or out of this world. We're literally feeding people who are hungry. We're giving somebody something to drink when they're thirsty. We're cutting people hair who need a haircut. It's what you're supposed to do.
People doing what they're supposed to do. That, I think, is the common thread running between those I've talked to who have found a way to turn social media into a job that can sustain them. The teen dancer, the car salesman from Texas, the former medical biller trying to fix her broken self and others at the same time. They're all people doing what they feel they're supposed to do. They didn't start by saying, I'm going to be a star. They started by wanting to share their passion with the world. And people followed. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
More from the American Strong series from ABC News later in the week, and each week we'll have another installment for you. I like that woman. She's going to use her Wonder Woman's lasso of truth to get her first baby daddy and know what he was really going to do. Gee, mini Christmas. Okay, if I had the lasso of truth, I don't know what I'd do, but that wouldn't be it. Bob Westfall is here from the Big 7, WTRF TV. Let's see what they're working on over there. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Howard. How are you?
Good. Are you all getting ready to mourn the loss of Dr. Dave come the end of this week?
Oh, no mourning here. He's just going on to the next stage of his life. I couldn't be happier for him personally. He's earned it. We're sad that he's not going to be in the building anymore. But him and Lulu got, gosh, to sound mushy, one of the greatest love affairs of the 21st century. I mean, so we're excited for him.
And how long has he been there? I can't remember. I know it's been a while, but I don't know how many years. Do you know?
16
How many?
16.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
He's been here almost as long as I have.
Wow. Okay. All right. Very good. Are you getting ready to retire?
Gosh, you know what? I don't think I'll ever retire. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, I go crazy sitting around the house during vacation for like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, look, I'm the same way. I could call it quits any day, and I can't imagine what would I do after that. All right, let's see what you're working on today. What do you got coming up at the Big 7?
All right, DK Wright is on the scene of a house fire in Belmont County in the Morristown area. Not a lot of details right now. We do know a couple fire departments on the scene, Belmont County Sheriff. So we will have details. Hopefully, she'll start flowing that in here shortly. More details as they get here. But DK is on the scene. We do know it's a house fire. No word yet on injuries, but we'll have that here shortly. John will have that up on Facebook and website as soon as we get that information. So that is breaking news going on as we speak. So DK is out with that right now. Okay. So we've got that. A couple other things we're going to work on. Everybody's talking about masks, about wearing masks, and we're going to talk to some people involved in child development, whether it's speech or development in general. Does wearing the masks hinder when it comes to the development of young children and speech patterns? Since apparently, children mimic what they see. So we're going to talk to a couple people, see if that is actually harming child development. So we're going to take a look at that. Kind of an interesting angle to the mask debate. So we'll be talking to some instructors here at a local university about that as well.
That's actually a good idea. That should be a really interesting story. I'll be curious what they say. I'm not sure which way that would break, so I'll look for the experts to tell me.
All right. And then last week we had the young women from the U.S. gymnastics team in Washington, D.C., talking about their situation with Dr. Nasser and the sexual assault and things like that. So we're going to talk to the Tri-County Health Center. What do you do when you find yourself in that type of situation where you need to report it? And maybe even go as further as when you do report it and nothing's done. We heard Simone Biles talk about, the FBI was even involved and nothing was done until the very end there. So we're going to talk to people out at the Tri-County today, see what they what we need to let our viewers know when they come into that kind of situation. So I thought that was kind of an interesting story as well for something that we're working on today.
Sounds good. Weather, we're going to turn rainy, I guess, by tomorrow.
Weather, rainy, a little bit cooler, so we've got that. Also, we've got the job fair tomorrow, WTR's job fair up at the Highland Sports Complex. It's a different location right now. Begins at 11, runs till 5. So if you are out there looking for work, I know we've got a lot of vendors that are out there as part of this. So, if you're out there looking for something, there's going to be a lot of good people out there to take a look at. And so maybe brush up your resume and head out to the Highland Sports Complex.
Did I see where one of your partners is offering some help with resumes?
I do believe that is the case, yes.
Okay, I can't remember who it was, but I know I saw that probably on the WTRF TV7 website would be my guess.
It's Career Strategy Consultants.
Okay.
So they're going to audit your resume, so they'll be doing that. And I think if you go to our website, there's an email, and they will audit your resume, which normally costs around $150. So, that's interesting in itself.
Yep, absolutely. All right, we'll look for all the news at noon, 5, 6, 10, 11, 5:30, the statewide show, and always at WTRF.com, Facebook page of WTRF News, and on our apps, Storm Tracker 7 app and our news app from WTRF, which I hope by now all the audience has downloaded and has on their smartphone or their tablet. Bob, good talking to you. We will, let's see, tomorrow's Wednesday, so I won't talk to you again until Thursday. Thanks for joining me today.
You have a good day.
Appreciate it. Bob Westfall from the Big 7, WTRF TV. Biffy, I got to go. I get out of here. I got to say sayonara, see you, bye-bye, farewell. However, good Lord willing, creeks don't rise, bat phone doesn't ring, don't get impeached, don't retire, ticker keeps on ticking. And Teddy says, it's all right. You can go back to work tomorrow, Granddad. I shall return at 7 o'clock in the a.m. Are you back with me, Brother Biff?
I am here for a Wednesday.
I think we should keep on doing this until we get it right.
Oh boy, that could be a long time.
Oh, for sure.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Is elected. Here's ABC White.
All right, Biffy. I got a press release shortly, a little bit ago, that Marketron seems to have fixed their problem, so hopefully we can have that issue resolved shortly. Everything else worked okay, though, right? Okay, sounds good. Hey, when you do, does Bill put his own audio in, or does he give you audio and you have to edit it? Okay. Okay. And then you have to, you edit that in? You might want to suggest to him tomorrow, in the next couple of days. Well, no, that's not this week. But when you go on vacation, we're going to have to ask him not to do that, because I'm trying to simplify things for Lola as much as I can. I was thinking it was next week, but next week's my vacation, so that won't be any problem. But when the time comes for you to go on vacation, we'll have to make sure he understands he's got to try and make it as simple as possible. I'm going to try to simplify everything I do to make it as easy as I can for Lola. I hear you chuckling in the background there. Yeah, well, just I say Lola's not, she does a great job, but she's not a morning person, so I'm trying to, and I think she's nervous that, we do a lot of things more complicated than the other shows. We have our drop-ins and the different openings and stuff. I'm going to try and stay away from all of that, just basically follow a straight format while you're gone. But we can deal with that in a couple of weeks. You're still here for a few weeks, so all right. I have nothing scheduled for tomorrow, but I'll get something going. I have a bunch of requests out, not local, but some expert guests like this one today. I got a couple of requests out. We'll see if anything comes back. And if not, we'll just punt again. We do a pretty good job of that. All right, that's fine. I honestly didn't expect it. It actually sounds interesting, but it's more trouble than it's worth for somebody, probably. Well, that's true too, but any of our giveaways, there's nothing wrong with giving them away, or at least saying we're giving away, because it makes it sound like we're doing stuff. But even like wild things. There's a limited number of people who actually want to go there, That's why I always encourage, if we're doing contests, food. Everybody wants food, Give away pizza, give away McDonald's, give away whatever. That's what we need, because everybody will enter a food contest. But otherwise, right. Otherwise, something like this, you have to actually be wanting to go say, oh, geez, I was going to buy tickets to that, but now I can get it free, It's just, the people who are interested in that are very limited. Very limited, so. But it's good to sound like we're giving stuff away. It's just, truth of the matter is, a lot of stuff we give away isn't going to really go anywhere because, the need for it is limited. I'd say certain thing, even we didn't do it this summer, but amusement park tickets. Probably every family can use amusement park tickets or give them to their kids or something. But and food, that's always good, But yeah, we'll make it work. All right, I don't know if I'll give it away because tomorrow's going to be a short day. If I have a chance to try it again, I might. If not, we'll pretend like we did, and life will go on. All right, I'll be around today if you need me. Otherwise, I'll talk to you in the morning. As always, I appreciate your help. All right, thanks. Bye.
Talk Line. We'll talk about the big stories affecting us in West Virginia, top political figures, sports personalities, sometimes just plain folks offering their opinions on what's happening today. 10 till noon, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Hello, everyone, from the Watchdog. I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your Tuesday under mostly cloudy skies with a slight chance for a scattered shower, a daytime high near 72. Overnight low of 66 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Showers likely. Those showers continue on and off as we go through your Wednesday. It could be heavy at times with temperatures in the lower 70s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Good morning. Welcome to Talk Line on the Metro News Radio Network.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
Holy smoke. From the studios of the West Virginia Radio Corporation and the Metro News Radio Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful radio show in West Virginia. This is Metro News Talk Live with Hoppy Kercheval.
Check set lineup link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Q Hoppy. You're on.
Metro News Talk Line with Hoppy Kercheval is brought to you by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Good morning. Ethan Collins is our producer. Zach Carolchick with a video stream. You can watch at WVMetroNews.com. The phone number is 1-800-765-8255. Text me 304-TALK-304. Email me talkline at WVMetroNews.com. And General Jim Hoyer, retired military, is the head of the COVID-19 Interagency Task Force. He joins us on Metro News Talkline. General, good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Hoppy. Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. So looking at the latest numbers, I see we have 1,337